So good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live from the Full Speed Event Studios once again, down here in the cellars. And yet no beer in the old beer cellar studio, unfortunately, sadly, because we'd be celebrating because we've got a bumper crop of riders yet again on the Chaingang. You can just see them all warming up over there, and we're on just over 5 minutes to our ride start. So for those of you who have not been on the Chaingang before, it's a real simple concept. We start off nice and steady. Our riders will then wind the pace up under the instructions of our yellow beacon, which is due to be Sammy Stewart, the legendary Sammy Stewart of Cam's Basso. When we then reach a set point that only our leader knows, they will press the button and hit the go, go, go. When that happens, the go, go, go that you see at the top of the screen going over the banner at the start is replicated on the screen from my yellow beacon. When that happens, then all the rules are off. There's no hanging around yellow. It's all about making sure you get to that finish line as fast as you can. Get the best ride out that you can. Now, we saw some cracking action on our second ride in the month of December on the DCG yesterday on a brand new course, and that was heading over into the new worlds, into Mercurians, on some of the new routes. In fact, it was border walks and bridges, I think, if I remember correctly. It was only last night. You should think I'd know by now. However, we've got quite the opposite here on the WoW DCG on the 1080 month of December, and it is Greater London Flat. It is a staple of the Chaingang. It is a absolute benchmark by which we judge how the Chaingang is riding and how people are getting on there. So real simple stuff. Stay round yellow. Don't go on the front. Don't panic till you get that signal. Then go for it to get to the line. I've got to say a big thank you to 1080 and all of our sponsors, all the guys who look after the members of DCG Gang. They don't support us, but the guys up there, you can see them up there: 1080, Gritty, OTE, Velaskin, Halo, Continental, and Nonners look after the members of DCG Gang, which is the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And those key individuals basically keep the show on the road. They cover all the hosting costs and the streaming costs and all the rest of it, basically, that Russ and I incur on the way through. And we've got to say a massive thank you to them. And to say thank you, we have some great giveaways. There are big discounts, 20% off most of the guys up there all the way through the season. But just as importantly, great giveaways. And 3 sets of full custom Oakleys. Anything you want, there are 3 sets going out. 3 members will be drawn at random. Now, that draw will happen towards the end of the month. There will be 3 draws, and it is 1 rider, 1 prize. So 3 people on the Chaingang with that. The membership will shut in the middle of the month, basically, just so that we can do the admin and get it all processed in time. So our riders are lining up and getting ready. Let's show you where they're heading. This is a Greater London Flat. And you can just see we have our traditional 5.7k lead-in, which is the bumpiest part of this route. You then go out and round. Greater London Flat in a clockwise direction. That is the way that the hands move in an old-fashioned watch if you're young enough to just think in digital. And that basically is 3 laps of 11.6k. We finish at 40.5. We then have a warm down, which is to our blue banner. And the elevation total, something about 284 metres. But do you know what? The elevation doesn't matter because it's actually where it is that's key. And if we jump from our fantastic Zwift Hacks map to our profile from Velo Viewer, you can see that the key points are the underpass. That is the dip and rise on the northwestern side. And that is where we drop and rise up. It's a 2-stage climb with a very fast descent off the other side. And then the run down in towards the mall, up to Constitution Corner and around. It's basically a very quick run in. Key point, though, running into that underpass and up the other side each lap is absolutely key. Now, our rider who is going to be our red beacon tonight, this is going to be the one and only, the legendary Maz Heffron of Zepnat Race Team. A rider who has won medals on all sorts of podiums, on all sorts of terrains. An absolute demon descender as well. I've had the pleasure of following Maz down some very technical, tricky, rocky descents. And I'll be honest, she's got a tricky wheel to stay on, even when you're on full form. So, Maz shown on the podium on the right-hand side and chasing a podium on the left-hand side. Usually one to not just have a perma-tan, but also a perma-smile on her face, which is brilliant to see. Now, our yellow beacon due in with us is Sammy Stewart of Cams Basso. Now, one thing we would say is that Sammy is a serving fire officer, so just be aware that Sammy is likely to be potentially called out on a shot if we are not careful. She's not due in, but that doesn't mean anything because we know she's an absolute legend when it comes to looking after all of the riders. So we will see what Sammy has to say. Let's jump on to our riders who are down on that start line. Here they go. The riders are going to head out on to the course. We're going to pick a rider to follow, and let's see who is going to take us out. Let's follow Maz out to start off with, and this group will get itself together, and I'm sure Maz can call some shouts until we get our yellow beacon in there. So the riders are up and away, and we're just jumping in with Maz at the moment. I think all the riders out from that start, so it's going to be a case of forming up around the group at the front, and then let's see how the riders get on as they head out on to the course. So at the moment, looking good. Let's see who's going to be able to take this out from the start. The riders looking good at the moment. Our helicopter just up overhead, and you're just going to watch this group form. So our riders are just coming out on the way, just in with Izzy Torrey at the moment. And the group just going to need to pull itself together a little bit. I think Maz just a little bit further back, just looking to grab a few people in. Daniel Riley just in the group at the back here. Come on, Daniel, jump on that wheel. You know how to ride a wheel better than most. And Maz and Danielle are going to be pulling these riders in. Remember, if you are more than about 20 seconds off the back of the pace, you drop back, drop out and jump back in again. But that group going to be pushing its way up towards the front. Maz, the last rider out. And Maz, I think now you've got a couple of riders to pull up towards that group. So our riders are underway. Our red beacon going to be pulling people around. Good to see that we've got Emma Gilbert in here. We've got 2E Gilbert. So just for those of you that get confused, we've got Emma Gilbert and we've got Ailish Gilbert. Ailish will be riding for the squad, which is our riders in the electric lightning kit. That's going to be in the orange and yellow. We've got Emma, who will be riding, no doubt, in the blue and green. Good to see we've got Izzy Torrey in here as well. So Joe Lee just calling the let's take it steady until the riders till yellow jumps in. So just on the way in, I think the blues and twos have been on to get into that point to jump in to the event, and won't be long till she's back in with us. Remember the key here to sit in and around the group. No heroes on the front, please. You'll just burn your legs out. And try and get that red beacon back in with the 3 bells, as well as Danielle Riley. And I think Maz doing some sterling work already to start to bring some of these riders back into the fold. So our riders on the way in to try and get regrouped before they hit the circuit proper. And this at the moment, Lisa Jane Lake on her way up towards that group. Good to see we've got Tracy Fletcher in here from the Masquerade squad. And Tracy one step off a podium actually at the World Championships on Sunday. So the riders on the way through. Let's keep an eye as they head in towards the circuit. So it looks like we have the one and only Sammy Stewart is with us. Sammy, welcome to the Chaingang. She's back in with us. I'm going to try and dive in. Have no fear. Sammy is here. And looks like the update that landed right as Sammy signed in, it just got the timing wrong, so it looks like it's that update. Thanks, Donny, watching, and Michael Clark, and maybe others, so jumping in. So it looks like Sammy is in with us. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is the one and only, the legendary, the breakaway supremo, the firefighter and lifesaver that is Sammy Stewart. She's also a beast on the bike, as well as a crowd favourite. Is that enough bigging up Sammy Stewart? I think it might be for now. We'll find something Sammy doesn't do great. Might be tech, actually, to be fair. But I don't think we can even blame this one on her. So good to see Sammy back in. Thank you very much, Sammy, for being on Yellow Beacon. Sammy, calling the shots now. Sammy, I know you're probably likely to have the tech rolling. We do have our red beacon quite some distance behind with a group of riders at about 33 seconds down. Maz at the moment just with Lisa Jane late at about 14 seconds down. But they've got 3 bellies and going to be Donny O'Reilly. So it's bellies and Riley just distance to the back. Guys, if you are off the back of the group, I would suggest jump back in once again. Once you've come out and gone back in to the group, it is a much faster option to do that. Now remember that we are heading out and around the Greater London Flat Circuit. And this absolutely key to where we're going. Remember, we've got to get ourselves back up on to the top of the circuit. So make sure that you get yourselves in together as a group as fast as is physically possible, if I can say that in one go. So remember, trying to get ourselves all together. Maz just up onto the climb on the way in. Let's jump back in to that ride. So Maz just making her way up on to the climb at the moment. 22 seconds down on that leading group. I think that group just starting to be get a little bit of control come in. So 12 seconds down is Bellis. Bellis pushing at 2.6. So these chasing riders, they've been kicking at about 2.6, 2.7 watts per kilo to try and get back into the group. But the group went off quite quickly. Lisa Jane late having to put out 4 watts per kilo. So I think Sammy exerting the control, as only our leader can, and going to get everybody together and get the group back in. And looks like Daniel Riley just jumping back into the race. You should jump back into the main group. Maz, let's see how you're going. So looks like everyone's got tech issues sorted one way or another. So Danielle, if you're just jumping in, you need to jump back in to the group. You should be going back into the middle of the group. If you rejoin, keep pedaling. Don't stop pedaling if you're going to join. So if you drop out and rejoin, key thing to do is to rejoin whilst pedaling. Now, Maz is our red beacon. Maz just distanced at the moment. She's got bellies behind as well. The yellow beacon is up the road about 52 seconds or so. That's going to be a bit of a mission, so we're going to need some strong riders to go back and our yellow beacon to hold the leading riders at the moment to just try and get them back in. They're going to see each other coming in the opposite direction. So let's have a little look. You can just see our yellow beacon just sat in here. So the gang needs to come back into that yellow beacon. I think Sammy's going to be having to shout some numbers at the riders in a minute to get them back under control. So here we go. Let's have a look. The Sammy Stewart just going to get this group in and together. So Vicky Jones in amongst those just easing off. Holly for the coalition. Sooner people ease off, sooner it will all come back in together again. So if you are in the group just hitting on to the arch, you need to be easing off the pedals, easing back basically in the group on our screens at the moment. You need to be not doing 3 watts per kilo, you need to be doing 1 watt per kilo pretty much to get this group back together again. Plenty of time to burn your legs out later on. Really simple stuff. Right now, race later. Sammy's got it right. Follow the advice of Sammy. She knows exactly what she's doing. The red beacon looks like the bus going to be at work all the way from the word go today. So good to know that we're in the safe hands of Maz, a.k.a. Marianne. So always interesting to see what they're up to. So Tracy Seeley with Lisa Jane Light. Just rolling just behind our yellow beacon at the moment. So the gang at the front just needs to just ease off those pedals. Just give yourself a little bit of a breather, guys. Let this yellow beacon get this group together. So let's see if they can pick the pace back. And again, I think Tracy Seeley jumping in there. Looks like Lisa Jane Light's got tech issues with the heart rate. So if in doubt, bin it off. Do without your heart rate, kiddo. Don't need it. Do what you feel comfy. If you're not comfy, don't push any harder. Real simple stuff. We want you in one piece. We like you the shape you are and with your fitness and health in one super duper piece. So just keep pushing the pedals to push until you stop being comfy. When you're not comfy, don't do it anymore, particularly if you're on your way back from any kind of time off. It's always good to take it steady in, and then you'll find you come faster out. A bit like the old adage of being a racing driver, it's slow in and fast out. No good going fast in and not coming out and coming out the speed. So in like a mouse and out like a lion. Otherwise, what happens is you get eaten up by the lion on the way out. That's how it works. If you're the mouse on the way out, the mouse gets eaten by the lion. That's how it works. Dead easy. Or if you're in a race with me, if you've got in super fast and come out slow, you end up in a ditch because I'll go riding straight over the top of you because I will always come out of a corner fast. Probably too fast. I might then end up in a tree or a hedge, but that's kind of how it works. Here we go. Now the gang just started to get itself in together. We've got a red beacon working like an absolute loon behind to try and grab the group back in together. Daniel run. Daniel jump out, jump back in again. It should spit you right in up to the front of the group if you're watching live, Daniel. So our group continuing to push here. And at the moment, the world of Zwift is quite a quiet one after this latest update. It's only noisy when we get the helicopter in. Anyway, I'm going to mass drinking like umpteen coffees. So our red beacon with bellies. I'm rating that 3 dot is the time trial order from last night's Zwift team time trial. I will put you money on it. Most teams go 1, 2, 3, 4 as their dot order. So one would be the lead rider off from the start, and then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. You can see we've got 1 Brooks in here. That's not because they've got the first name which begins with an O. It's not 1 at all. So our riders well out and around circuit, looking good at the moment. So look at the group, nicely spread across the road. That yellow beacon, no, some way back. So Yeah, just have to ease off, let that beacon get its way back into the group. Looks like Sammy's going to do the waiting here for Maz. Emma Lysica Ernest is doing the same. You can see those riders on the back. They know what the score is now. Emma just helping to push up the pace for our yellow beacon and our red beacon. And I think Sammy's going to hold her ground here and get the beacons back on the group behind. We're running at 2.3. And Sammy won't mess about. She's not one. She knows what the rules are. And she'll play by those rules. So worth waiting for Sammy on the way through here. And of course, it's up to them if and when they call the 3 Gs. Absolutely key. So you can just see Tracy just easing off, just coming back a little bit. Here looks like Vicky Jones knows the score as well. Emma here just going back to help stronger riders, just dropping off the back here. So those people who know how the game is played, dropping and making the way back. Just taking it nice and easy. So are there any cobbly bits on this route? Is that even a word? The answer is no, it's not a word. No, they're not on this route. Cobbly bits are definitely not en route, that's for sure. So our riders coming down in and through Parliament Square, going to be heading off around. Anyone with a steamroller, unlucky guys, dump it the moment you can. It ain't going to do you any good anywhere on course. So our riders rolling along, and looks like this group coming in, just making their way in and around. So here we go, Sammy Stewart just stuck to the back of the group. And looks like Maz and the bus with Bellis behind, just tapping out a nice rhythm here. The catch-all's going to be there to catch you on the way back as they come in and through. It looks like Daniel Riley with tech issues just off the back of this group. Lisa Jane Lake just tucking onto the back of the group, and going to be seeing how she goes on as we go in and through. Emma Gilbert in here. We've got Vicky Jones, we've got Tracy Seeley, Terminator 2.0. We've got Julie Brown in here. Julie, very regular rider on the Chaingang, and knows it inside out. So you can just see Izzy Torrey in here as the group manages. The band gets itself back together once again, which is what we're looking for. So our front rider in the group is going to be Lukowski. You can ignore anybody off the front of the Yellow Beacon group because they're not on this ride. They're actually on a different ride altogether. basically. So front of the group is Likowski, and look at this, the gang is together, which is what we want to see. Let's get our camera up in the air. So Lebowski sitting on the in and around the front there. Looks like Sandra McKay just rolling to the front of the Arrowhead. Nothing moving at all. And look at this, the yellow beacon just coming in. So this group all nicely together. We've got a red beacon sweeping at the back with Bellies here, one of the riders who was racing last night, sitting at just behind it. It shows you it's all about sitting in that wheel, isn't it? Make sure you sit in that draft. You're just in with Lisa Jane Lake, aka Foxy, on the way in through. And this group nicely working together. And that pace, no doubt, will ramp up, I would imagine, pretty quickly. We're into the first of 3 laps, 20 minutes of riding in, 11k done. Now, good to see that we've got Anita Mana back with us once again. So one of our newer riders not all that long ago, back in to the gang once again. So just in with Anita, looking pretty smooth here. Nice revs, 83 revs per minute, looking super duper, coming in and through. Just going to have a little bit of a check. So this is going to be our next rider we're having a look. This is Tricycling's rider, just tucked in here. This is from MDCC, so depends on which club you believe that kit was instigated for as to who you think that is. We've got Brooks. This should be Lydia Brooks. Oh, it's Karen Brooks. My apologies. We've got 2 of those. Let's have a little look. At least Jane Lake just distracted by something going past. Not yet. Not yet. Tell me not yet. It's banned in our house anyway this year. It's not happening. Not happening. We've got a very expensive Christmas present instead. That's for sure. Right, here we go. Oh, local farmers are going past on the way past. Local farmers round us just ride past in the tractor most days of the week, to be fair. So our riders continues to push on. Julie Bratton in here nicely. Ingvar Sun tucked in here as well. Good to see you. Let's have a look. Santa, you know him, do you? You know me, Dad. Anyone who doesn't know what my dad looks like, imagine Santa and the Raymond Briggs books. That's what my dad looks like. It is a true story. This is not me making it up just because we are putting this out to the public. It is a true fact. My dad does look absolutely 100% like Santa. In fact, it regularly gets mistaken for him, particularly in the run-up now. And the same's true across the world as well, randomly. Don't ask me why. So here we go. Tracy tucked in. You got Lisa Jane Lake just hanging on to the back there. Come on, this is a last little push in there. This group's just hanging in nice and steady, just picking the pace up. Remember, we're going up the climb here. It will basically start to pick up as we go in towards that U-turn just in front. So watching this group move. So let's have a look. So Lisa Jane Lake's got a list for her, a new dropper pin. Yeah, I want one of those. Mine froze again yesterday on the ride. I've discovered that my dropper pin doesn't work below about 5 degrees C. In fact, it doesn't work below about 10 degrees C half the time unless you give it a massive wallop of the way through. Interesting though, the new BMC 4-stroke has a dropper pin that has a compressed cylinder basically and will do 100 drops automatically for you because they worked out that in the XC Racing that the dropper pin drops about 100 times. They actually measured it drops about 100 times in the average XC race. So they've built a dropper pin. So basically when you flick the button, it drops the pin right down for you. Then you hit the button and it brings it back up again. And it does that 100 times. Then when it runs out of gas, it just operates like normal way you squash it down. If you think of all that energy of doing 100 squats, you go do 100 squats and think about how much energy that is doing 100 squats just to move your pin. And then think if that did it automatically for you, leaving you in the right position to actually take on that tech, how much energy that would save. And that's actually the new 4-stroke, one of the new models of the 4-stroke BMCs. It is definitely the case. We just have, it's fortunately, let's have a look at, grab the picture. So Emmy sat down here in the Full Speed Events HQ and is just keeping an eye on proceedings. And needless to say, has managed to find a picture of my dad, which is in his classic attire. So I'm going to attempt famous last words. There we go. So as our riders, just over there. There we go. Let's see if we can get this. That, for everybody at home, that is Santa Claus, a.k.a. my dad. And I promise you, face on, he looks even more like Santa. Red braces. He'll have red socks on, I can guarantee it. Barry on. You know that Santa on Holiday by Raymond Briggs? That is me dad. There you go. Truth is stranger than fiction. So, there we go. In fact, our Red Beacon, Maz knows my dad. And Maz could actually attest to the fact that that is a genuine thing. Having Santa for your dad. Dangerous. Tell you. So many arguments as a kid. All right. Group coming up in towards that right-hand turn. I think all these riders just about handling the pace. Looks like Maz just back shepherding in the riders behind. So steadily making the way in and through. Just going to have a little jump back to Donny O'Reilly. Looks not even on the same route at the moment. Not what's going on. There you go. He is indeed Santa Maz. You're not wrong. It is true. He's very, very good at that. He actually, when little kids went up to him, everybody goes, shh, don't tell anybody. That's his favourite phrase. So who's got new bikes? Who's got new bikes? Everything. Let's see, here we go. People have a list. New car. What do people want for Christmas? New car. Not that somebody's offering to buy. New bike. What would I like for Christmas? Peace and quiet. And ride me bike. And not be stuck on a digger, or building a studio, oh no, I'm working. Yeah, that's right. That'd be the one. CX poster, please. Yeah. I tell you what you can have. You can probably have a new Crosscast. There's going to be one of those coming out probably about then as well. Can't believe that we've got so many programs that we're broadcasting on the way through. So here we go. Drop a post is a great idea. It's just right. In fact, I do believe Emma actually had a drop a post. I can think of a better one now. I can think of the best thing that you can have ever for Christmas. It's a set of shades from 1080 from the Oakley guys. I was lucky enough. Here you are, soppy story for you. First year, I'd always wanted a pair of frog skins. Never had a set of frog skins, ever. Because I could never, ever, when they were out originally, afford them. Set of frog skins, XLs, red shade lenses, black ones appeared magically on the very first Christmas Emma and I spent together. So Father Christmas had clearly been listening to me telling stories of what I always fancied. But don't forget, of course, 1080 with massive discounts anyway. Mail order to anywhere in the country or internationally. If in doubt, grab a set of shades from them. Sutros are out there. They've got the new Katos with basically the nose piece is built in with the little nose piece. So you're getting a sunburnt nose. Perfect for sunny weather. We've got, of course, loads of shades. Absolutely spot on and perfect. Lisa Jane, I don't look like Santa. No, let's have a look. Right, so sights in here. We're just on the run out from the dip, and at the moment I think everybody handling this pace. Our yellow beacon is throwing down quite comfortably. Nobody getting yo-yoed off the back yet. That's usually a surefire sign that somebody's going to start lifting the pace, but we will see. Matt is an elf. I would like to think I had an elf-like figure. That would be very funny. Might be elf-like only because I've lost a load of weight. I've got the ears of an elf every now and then. No, I'm not taking the cans off. It's just to show you, believe me. So thank you to all of our riders who volunteered to be biggest. I know we put a post out for a couple of spots we needed to fill. We've had quite a few people jump in. It is a cracking job. It's a tough job. Maz will no doubt come to the end of this and go, well, that was really tough. Oh my God, I did so much. I worked really hard. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you something. I was an elf Matt as Santa. Yeah, no. Although I do have a Santa Cruz t-shirt that actually says Santa Claus on it. In red, which may actually have to make the trip as we head abroad for our Christmas one, but I'm not going to wear it because we do have some specials coming up over the Christmas period. It's not just 1080 and Oakley month on the DCG. Just as importantly, we've also got some great rides coming up. Now, Russ has got, again, a massive mix of routes. Some absolutely superb set of routes coming up Emma has been busy and has got routes all the way through the year just about planned out, with a few alterations dependent on how everybody's riding and getting on. You are going to find that you get yourselves an absolutely bonus Christmas week between Christmas and New Year. So apart from being sat on a digger, excavating out a new space for the studio in France, we're also, I am actually going to spend the first day that we've got the digger, the first evening, I'm going to be sat on a bike. Because we've got the digger book for the 27th. And guess which day I'm leading the Donny Chaingang? Yes, it's going to be on the 27th of December. So I'm leading the Donny Chaingang on Tuesday the 27th. Emma will be on the microphone. The tech team will be basically still stuck out in the wilds digging outside, I would imagine. Probably, hopefully we'll have got them into the top field at that point in time. Then on the Wednesday, it is the return of the M. This time as Red Beacon. So Emma's going to be our Red Beacon, and that is going to be on the 28th. On the 29th is going to be Russ. And Russ, it's normally the end of the year on a high. Russ has gone rogue on us on this one. I'm not going to tell you where he's going, but he's gone rogue on this one. So the speculation is rife of where he's going to be heading. Going to be very interesting to see. So the gang continue to roll. We are just coming towards the end of lap number 1. The riders will turn down this because a dress rehearsal. So the chat has gone very quiet all of a sudden. We lift to 2.5, and guess what? Everybody goes really silent all of a sudden. At least Chaingang doing the smart move, as is Tracy Seeley. Wonder whether Seeley's on a bit of a mission tonight to go take a top spot here, because Seeley sat in Terminator line. She's got Terminator shades on. The Oakleys, of course. What else could you have? Sat in there is Seeley on a mission to go give him a hiding tonight. Well, she's gone for the right kit, because this is exactly the setup I would go for. Deep rim on the front, disc on the back, super smooth way to do it, and looking good at the moment. So Tracy looking like she's got this absolutely dialed. There we go. We just get it back rolling again. So Tracy Seeley keeping everything rolling, looking like she's got this dialed so far, and heading out. So will this be the case? In your dreams, I don't want to know what you're dreaming of. What two Terminators dream? Do machines dream? That is a very good question. You need to watch the Will Smith film for that one for the answer to that. It's marginally less scary than the Terminator series. I, Robot, that's what it's called. There you go. Actually a really good film that makes you think. I, Robot. About the 3 laws. Just giving a quick example of coffee chat to Emma. I'm just threatening to pull on the set of his phone. She's on a ban. She's on a broadcast ban. She's supposed to be resting. Supposed to be taking it easy. Because we've done far too much broadcasting recently, as well as everything else to recover. Well, look at this. We're seeing an en masse dump. It's a pants film, says Tracy. Just because it's just like a little bit more light-hearted than the doom and gloom of Terminator. So we're going to have a serious film chat now. It's a movie, not a film. There you go. Right. Should we get back to the riding? So we've got another AEO rider in here. This is going to be Sykes in here. Another one of the squad coming and joining us. Good to have her here in here. Sarah Sykes. Sarah, who rides for? I'm just waiting for a cue from Emma as to which squad she rides. You know, AEO's only got a cast of thousands. You know, but we'll put Emma on the spot so she actually knows exactly where they are. The finish is indeed on the mole. We have less than 2 laps to go. Holly, less than 2 laps to go, and that is where the finish. The finish is on the mole sprint. It's a very good question. Where are we ending? And then you get to do a nice little roll down. A nice standard warm down, as you get on all of the DCGs, the WoW DCG and the Open DCG as well. Now let's take a look. It looks like our Red Beacon on a 2-up time trial at the moment, keeping them going. So here we go. Not sure I want to know what LFG stands for. Maybe I'm getting old. So, Daisy Freer in here, another of our regulars on the Chaingang. Daisy, regular on the Donny Chaingang and on the WoW DCG. One of our regular fast finishers, surely a candidate for a yellow and or a red beacon, to be honest, because I think Daisy's got more miles in on the Chaingang than anybody recently. Maybe other than Tiff or Tracy Fletcher or Seeley. I don't know. Aren't I so glad I just missed that message flicking across the screen there. Let's flipping go. Yeah, that's the one. Right. Well, at the moment, group's rolling around pretty comfy. Let's see if this group has dropped anybody recently. They haven't. So at the moment, at least Jane Layton and all the gang's still in there. It's still one big bunch across the road. So just taking a little look, I think it is going to be, here we go, answer to my question is that Sarah is going to be an Aeonian Camaradas. So basically the letters of the second bit of the title, C is a Camaradas, so C squad. So Cheekers is a C squad, as DS by the one and only Emma, the head of the WoW DCG. This group running well at the moment. So here we go. Let's see who's going to be holding on. Seeley still tucked in at the back there, doing a little bit of a sneaky one, sitting, not working too hard. Izzy Torrey doing the same here. Ingvarsson's doing the same. So Louise Hawkins is very quiet. I think there's a lot of nerves in there. At 35 minutes, 19k to go. Really interesting. I think people just starting to breathe, but nobody been dropped yet. This group for a little while after the start. Maz just back with Bellies there. So let's take a little bit of a check. No, everybody's sat in there. John Lee and here. See John in with us, another of our regulars. John stepping in to do a couple of jobs for us as well on the Chaingang. And an absolute star, one of our beacons. I think, I'm pretty sure it was last week, living in a black and white world, I think. Multicolored person in a black and white world. Now, here we go. Shout comes out. Let's hit 2.5. Comes in, and that is the queue for the riders just on their way out and round the side of the Big Ben Bell Tower, going around the side of Parliament Square and across the face of Westminster Abbey at the moment. So you can just see the riders just making their way out and through, looking pretty compact at the moment, as the pace has been lifted by Sammy Stewart to 2.5. So let's take a little bit of a look. Holly in here for the Coalition Racing Squad. You did a marathon there, Holly. Oh, you runners are mad. There's so many ex-runners riding. There's a reason for that, mostly to do with a lack of kneecaps and things inside them. And the damage it does to you. Anti-running, yeah, compared to cycling, every time. Ride your bike first. So here we go, in with Holly at the moment. Sammy just on the front, just keeping it wound up at the moment. Looking good at the way through. Rebecca Winter doing a one as well. So let's have a look. Always a runner who cycles. No, become a cyclist. Honestly, it's much quicker. You can faster on the bike, I promise. Oh, the go-go-go's gone. The go-go-go has gone. No warning. And all of a sudden, Sammy Stewart just lit the match and lobbed the stick of dynamite in everybody. Here we go. The go-go-go's gone. They're all too busy talking about running. Well, you're going to need your sprinting legs on to stay with the leaders now. So at the moment, you can just see Holly from Coalition very aware of what's going on. Emma Dooley in that really distinctive fear kit is in here as well. Izzy Torrey really ramping it up on here. She was just doing 8 watts per kilo. So the front of the group at the moment really starting to rip this along as they start to motor their way through. And you can just see the damage is being done. The group is starting to break up. Now, if you do get dropped, find yourself a riding partner. Find yourself somebody to stay with. Look at the gap. I think Emma just nearly spat her tea out everywhere when she looked up and saw that the gap had opened. Look at this. We're starting to see the damage. So we've got a lead leading group of riders. Nate, at the moment, looks to me, we're just going to try and get a handle on how many riders that is. So if Ross counts as last rider, it's 23 riders in that leading group. Make that 22. Sandra McKay's legs, I think, just fell off. And then it's going to be Parker with Sykes, Morn, Jessup, Lukowski. Then it's going to be Tree Cycling. Guys, find yourself someone to ride with. Find somebody who's going at your pace. Don't forget, the red beacon is coming sweeping. They're coming past the Parliament Square at the moment. Not all that far behind you if you're on the course, only a couple of K. So find yourself a group. This looks like it's going to form into a nice riding group here. So take turns. Get your strongest riders on the front. Get it dragged along. You'll need those riders who maybe need a rest at the moment. Claire Jessup pushing here. So it's Claire Jessup. It's going to be Parker in here as well. So this is really going to be tough stuff. Asta Parker. This is going to be a good ride for Asta here. It looks like one of our newer riders, judging by the bike and the kit here, but doing a great ride, sitting at 3.8 watts per kilo. Claire Jessup in here, a little bit further back. Those riders just having to find groups up the road. Then you can just see we've got a little bit of a group formed. We've got Sykes, Ross, we've got Hawkins in here as well. Sarah Louise Hawkins tucked in nicely. Then it's going to be Daisy Freer's group in here. This is where it's going to get really, really tough. I know I've just seen messages from Emma Lysika Ennis just good. Saying thanks on the way through. So let's see how these riders go. Just looking to see if I can see Emma. She's tucked in here. She said her thank yous early. That's because she can't talk afterwards. That's probably the best thing I've seen for a long time. Well done. I tell you something, it's a really absolutely cracking message on there. It's got more emojis than I think I've used in any single message ever. Right, here we go. Sammy Stewart on the front, dragging it out again, looking to make everybody work. Is this going to be another pull? Close down quickly. I tell you something, Holly from Coalition Racing, Holly Bergin, she may be used to the hills up round Skipton, but by goodness, she can't have put the pressure on. So we are going to see now. Just get a message coming in from the back. So, during this season of the WOW DCG, whenever Sammy has ridden, she has not lost at a DCG. It hasn't happened. She's got a 100% record. So, guys, your job today, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to work over our yellow beacon at every opportunity. Make a chaser down every single possible rider. Make her work until her legs fall off. We know she's likely to thump me for this, but I don't really care. Give her a hard time out on the course. This is the whole point here. Give her a really tough time. Don't let her have an easy ride into the finish. Make her chase people. Send riders up and don't you bother chasing them, because that is what it's all about now. Try and beat the beacon. Come on, guys. It's 20 plus to 1. This is more than doable here. You can do this. It is pretty straightforward. The leader's on the road. The bunch sweeping its way in and through here. The yellow beacon is tucked in here. The rider who's won everyone, don't make it easy for her. Make it tough. You know, she might get a tough day at work. She might be used to fighting fires. We want to turn the heat up on her, though. We want you to go out there and see if you can extinguish with the best hose power you've got any kind of flame of a... any kind of spark that's going to ignite Sammy Stewart and give her the power to get into the finish. It needs doing. We can't have her taking a win again. Can't be done, can it? Yeah, I'm sure it can. This is Sammy Stewart we're talking about. Oh, look at this. So I think we're going to start to see a little bit of mean tactics coming up here. Will Sammy chase? That's the question. Now that we're all ganging up on her, I think she's going to wait and see and let everybody see what they're going to do. Remember, this is a veteran of the Tour Series, the Women's Tour of Britain. This is a rider who's gone solo plenty of time and knows exactly what to do. But you can see the attacks have gone now. Let's see who's lighting it up. I think it is going to be Izzy Torrey of the AEO squad. It is. We we can always rely on them for a real battle here. So they've gone for this. The yellow beacon is behind. She's just patrolling 5 seconds down. How far dare she let them go? Remember, this is going to be the end of lap number 2. We're still going to have 1 lap to go. So Izzy's going to be desperate to get a little bit of company up there. But 2 or 3 riders could make this happen. So if Holly can get in touch, Holly and Vicky Jones get in touch, they would be away. But I think at the moment the problem is that behind Holly is that group are just sitting a little bit too close at the moment. But I'll tell you something, Izzy Torrey is not a rider to let go. Izzy has been around a long time, not just on the Donny Chaingang, but racing on the national scene. I remember commentating on Izzy actually not all that long ago. Absolutely cracking rider, class machine. And could be a rider who could just ride away from everyone. Can be done. We've seen it done. I'm not going to give you any clues about what happens on last night's Chaingang, but Damien Clayton was on, and you always know he's going to go for it at some point. Well, are we going to see the new version of Damien's on the last night and previous nights going for it and making everybody work in Izzy? She's got that 5 seconds to Holly. Holly's still being left out there. A bit of a carrot dangling in front of the group. Joe Blackburn, a rider who's taken victories on here. Can Joe be the rider to beat Sammy Stewart? Or do you know what? She could well be shaping up to be a really interesting Chaingang here with a real interesting finish. At the moment, our leader, it is the Aeonian rider. It is going to be Izzy Torrey, who's got that little bit of a gap, but I think Izzy just being aware that she didn't bring enough people. You need about 3 or 4 people together to make this work, and you can just see this group are going to sweep up Izzy, but are we going to see a classic counter attack over the top? It's going to be a Winter who goes over the top at the moment. So Rebecca Winter just going up on to the front of the group, but Holly from Coalition sweeps away on to the front once again. And it could well be that everybody just wants to take on Sammy in the sprint, rather you than me. Well, actually, yeah, it's probably the only chance they have got to beat Sammy is in a little bit of a sprint, but we will see what happens on the way through. Great riding so far on the Chaingang. So I always say coaches in the car park, not on the Donny Chaingang. You've got your very own coach sat behind me, actually, just at the moment. And that is Emma. Emma, of course, Emma Martin. Professor Emma Martin, to give her a proper title. Doctor, Professor, as well as being umpteen titles on the way through. But just as importantly, she knows exactly what she's doing in getting fast times out of the riders. But at the moment, looks like this group's sitting up at the moment. There's another nice little kick. You get to the base of this descent, there's another tight left-hand turn, and it slightly rises. This has been a springboard before for our riders. Now, as to come over the top, that group was pretty much stayed together. 1 or 2 riders distanced on the way over the top. So Emily Seeker Ennis has got company. Nicholas Soden sitting on Emma's wheel. Guys, work together. Do a TT all the way in. I think you're more than capable of pushing that right the way through. Sarah Louise Hawkins has got company as well with Michelle Ross in here. So Michelle and Sarah Louise Hawkins have the opportunity to keep pushing. They've got Pip Morn as well as Asta Parker. Going to have Claire Jessup in this trio. And if they can get back together, that's going to be a really nice group of 5 riders. Meanwhile, coming back in, it's going to be 1 lap to go when they hit the line this time. Remember, don't just ride on the front. Accelerate through, burst through, use that momentum, use that draft, and make life difficult for our yellow beacon. Can you beat Sammy Stewart? Tell you something, it's a big, big ask, but it's not undoable. There's no such thing as an unbeatable rider. It just doesn't exist. The question will be, can you take out Sammy today? Will you be able to cause her enough pain on the way through that her legs don't work when it comes to the final sprint? Even if you don't drop her, the more she has to chase, the better it is. Don't do the work for her. Who's going to be brave? Who's going to be bold? Is anybody going to feel like they're going to give it a little bit of beans here? Because I think these riders It's one of those things. As soon as one person beats somebody, then everybody thinks they can have a go. But at the moment, we've got that little invincibility cloak going round our yellow beacon. Let's see who is going to take it. Give you a break, Sammy? Not a chance. I'm trying to give you a break up the road in front of you, kiddo. You did. I tell you something, you don't want to be a pantomime villain when I'm around. You're into deep, deep trouble. Oh, no, you're not. Yeah. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, no, you're not. Sammy's doing a great job leading the group. We'll see if anybody can take her on and anybody can break clear. It's going to be really interesting. Have to say, I'm going to nail my colours to the mast here. I'm going to get off the fence. My money is on Sammy. No matter how much we gang up on her, because she's an absolutely class act. We will see. Right, let's see what's going to happen. One lap left to go. One more lap left to go. Congratulations on Holly completing this week's weekly distance goal. Fantastic stuff. Do you know, it's a good job nobody's got a camera on Emma's faces in the commentary booth, because she keeps pulling these very strange faces, usually in pain when I do something stupid. You gotta keep it fun. Right. Oh no, this Chainling's got another ghost. Let's see. Okay. Group's going well. Chase behind. Emily Ennis, Nicholas Soden just separated about 8 seconds actually at the moment. Then it's going to be Sarah Louise Hawkins who is leading through this trio of riders at the moment. I think it's going to be Parker, then Morn and Jessup behind here. Nice group working together well here. Just seeing a nice little bit of rotation as people take the turn on front. Remember, if you're not getting a draft, get off the front, get a draft, take your turn, jump off the front. You will go massively quicker. The dynamics of the game are that they amplify good behaviour. They positively reward good tactics and good technical riding. It's the way that Zwift works. It's a very feel-good platform. Not necessarily the most accurate, but definitely a great way of making people learn how to ride in the right way to get the maximum time, because it basically rewards good tactics and good behaviour. Right, let's have a little look. This group continues onwards, still pushing along. Nice pace here. The go triggered on the way through. Fastest time going to win to that time on the way through. No surprises there on that sprint time as the pace has continued to pick up. We're at 13.98. I don't think that will survive another lap because, of course, we are on the last lap. And we have seen a rider go clear before. Is this going to be the time where she does it? Because Joe Blackburn has gone here. Interesting to see that I'm not sure that all of our power-ups, apart from the burrito, has worked, because look at this. I think I've just seen a burrito drop by Holly from Coalition. Oops, thought we'd eliminated those. There we go. I'm not complaining because it looks like Holly has got a gap. Right, Joe, Holly, time to go, because, oh, look at this. Sammy's aware of these two. She's not mucking. She's done the same. Look at that. So it looks like Sammy Stewart has been aware of the danger of these two. She's come straight on towards these two, and she's coming at pace. She's having to do the work to chase them down. Izzy Torrey is sat on the wheels, and this is the danger for riders like Sammy Stewart. If they're forced to do the work to chase back, you could then have a real class rider. Izzy Torrey, Tracy Seeley in here, Joanne Lee, Daisy Freer. Looks like Emma Gilbert in this bunch, Ingverson. All these riders, they are currently getting a slightly easier ride because they're sitting in the slipstream as the work is being done to try and get across to Holly, across to Joe here, who's leading this out. Now, the risk is, of course, that you burn all your matches. You put too many attacks in, and you haven't got as many matches in your box. You've got one of those little Swan Vestas boxes. The Yellow Beacon has got a big box of Cook's matches and can keep on lighting them long after you've run out. Let's see how that pans out. Now, interestingly, Sammy Stewart has company. She's got Izzy Torrey glued to a wheel at the moment. Sammy's having to do the work here. Torrey's sat on the wheel. The group behind need to make a decision here. Are they going to chase? Are they going to go after the yellow beacon, who is just in front? They have strength in depth. Look at the volume of riders in the group chasing our yellow beacon. You can just see here a lot of riders, but remember, we're talking about chasing down. Absolute top flight riders here. Izzy, Torrey and Sammy Stewart are quick. If they get together with Blackburn and Holly, I think the group behind could say wave goodbye to the first 4 places on this ride, because those 4 could time trial the way in and then decide it on a sprint. You can't afford to let the 2 groups get together here. If you're in that chasing group, it's going to be worth burning a few matches. It's going to be worth burning a few flares. In fact, I tell you what, I'll be emptying the tank to try and stop that from happening, because if this group come back together again, if the 4 riders together become one, then things are going to get very, very difficult indeed. But it looks to me like that gap is still at 3 seconds. Stewart pushing out some massive watts here. Torrey sat on a wheel. Torrey's just done a big, big turn. Now it's Stewart's turn to come back in. Blackburn and Holly. So Joe Blackburn, Holly Bergen continues to push on just in front. This is an absolutely absorbing team time trial, and it looks like they're going to make contact. So 2 are going to become 4 here, and this could well be curtains for the rest of that group to stay with the lead. So 4 riders. Now, this is going to be 4 riders against... Well, let's have a little look. We're going to run back down the course and see. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 riders, I think that's going to be. So 4 versus 16. There are 4 times the riders in the chasing group. 4 times the amounts of rest that you could get if you take a turn on the front. 4 times. But you've got to be prepared to put the work in. Daisy Freer at the moment doing the work on the front. They need to get lined up behind. Think those super impressive team time trial shots through France. That's going to be really, really key. So interesting to see just what happens as they start going along. I mean, look at the speed here. We're talking about doing 40 plus kph. The question is going to be, what are our leaders doing here? Well, the leaders are doing 41. There's hardly anything in this. And if you look at the difference, the leading group here, so Sealy is sat in the draft. Let's take a little look. Dooley sat in the middle of this pack, sitting round about 3 watts per kilo or so. If you're up on the front of this group and having to do the work, Torrey's at 5 watts per kilo. You can imagine you're going to want to rest. The riders behind, looks like Holly from the Coalition, just easing away back at about 3 to 4. But on average, the watts per kilo are much easier behind. And at the moment, that gap is not going out here. This is going to be a really interesting pursuit here, because you can just see at the moment, our leading 4 riders do not have a gap. They're not out of sight and out of mind. It's currently showing at 4 seconds. The chase is on. Hey, the Donny Chaingang strikes again. Here they come. This is what it's all about. Can you catch the 4 riders in front? Can the 4 riders stay clear? They put in the brakes. They put in the work. We've seen the attacks coming. And it looks like at the moment Sammy Stewart now being left to do the work. That's really interesting. I think they were taking turns, but there's going to come a point where that yellow beacon, it's a bit like having the yellow jersey on. You are expected to be able to walk the walk as well as talk the talk. You've got to be able to prove it. But look at this. They are all working together, because as any rider will tell you, you'd much rather go, and it doesn't matter who's with you. A 1 in 4 chance is a heck of a lot better than a 1 in 20 chance. This is a game of odds. The gap now up to 6 seconds. It's yo-yoing up and down at the moment. Who's going to pull? Is the group behind? At what point does this group go, do you know what? We're not going to get him, so let's think about what we do. Are we going to see some attacking coming in here? 3 Fear riders in here. 3 Fear riders. You've got Dooley from Fear in here. Tucked in nicely in the group. We've also got, we're going to try and grab them on the way through. I think Jones is a Fear rider, if I remember correctly. You're just trying to find everybody. So you can just see everybody at the moment. Elliot is definitely a Fear rider tucked in here. Will Elliot be the rider to take it out? Just tucked it nicely into the back of the group, getting some decent rest on the back. Great outfit, a great kit. That means they're really easy to spot. They've got strength in depth here, but they're going to have to work because the gap is starting to open, and we're seeing Holly Bergen from the Coalition race. You've got Joe Blackburn here from the Wahoo Cole squad. You've got Sammy Stewart from the Cams Basso squad. You've got Izzy Torrey here for the Aeonian race team. 4 absolute class riders out on their own at the front. The chasing group behind, it went out, it's come back. It's now at 9 seconds once again. But you can see this group, they know what they're doing. They're almost line astern of the leader. They're all just trying to make sure that they get this line right. And it looks like Sammy Stewart at the moment just letting a little bit of drift go on that wheel in front. Dangerous thing to do. Joe Blackburn's taken victory before. She could well be looking just to make life difficult once again. So it's Joe leading this out. Joe Blackburn and that Wahoo Cole squad at the moment here on the Donny Chaingang on 1080 a month. Giving it absolutely everything. Looking to stay clear. Can she do so? Can she stay clear of the riders as they make their way down this straight at the moment? It's going to be very, very close indeed. This is going to be right down to the wire. At the moment, it certainly looks to me like Blackburn with a 4-second lead. And look at this, they're across the road here. This is dangerous because if they let that gap go, they're 20 seconds in front of the chasers. Now the question is going to be, is Sammy Stewart going to take this up as Yellow Beacon and as the hot favourite, given her volume of wins and her pedigree and her fantastic race season last season? Or are we going to see people like Izzy Torrey and Holly Bergen decide, you know what, I think we've worked her over enough. We can afford now to try and go after Joe and actually go for that win. So be very interesting to see who's feeling strong, who's got the tactics. We watched a fantastic game of racing out at the World's Masters Championship cyclocross. 3 riders were clear. Of those 3 riders, 1 rider sat in and was playing the biggest bluff going ever. It was an absolutely brilliant ride by Dries Pals. He sat there, he pulled faces, he hung off the back, he let the gaps go, he didn't do the work, and then do you know what? When it mattered, he went over the line first and he took the win. Problem is, it's a risky game to play. Holly from Coalition at the moment letting a 2-second gap go, and I think Sammy Stewart is on a bit of a mission here. She's kicked clear of Holly and of Izzy at the moment, and it looks to me like the 2 riders are going to need to get this together, because if you see Blackburn and Sammy Stewart get together, you know that you're going to be in trouble. So at the moment, Izzy Torrey, who took it on those attacks, Holly Bergen, who's been attacking, looking to try and stay clear of the bunch behind, but the gap has opened up to Sammy Stewart. Sammy Stewart on a bit of a mission here to close down on the rider in front. 79 revs per minute. She's Muller in a huge gear here to turn around at that kind of revs at 50 kph. That's some serious power at the moment. They'll be stretching that chain to its limit. I tell you something, somebody bent the chain last night. Can you believe that? That is how hard they were working. Well, I think this is a candidate, Sammy Stewart. So look at this, she's cut Blackburn down to 2 seconds here. So it is Joe Blackburn leading. The Yellow Beacon is coming up behind. Remember, the Beacon has not lost. At the moment, Sammy Stewart has not lost a WOW DCG since she's been on them, and that is a record that somebody is going to go beat. Who's it going to be? Remember, of course, if Blackburn and Stewart hesitate for the slightest, it's not that far back to Holly, and it looks like Izzy Torrey has decided that she's going to try and kick on here. And has Holly got an answer to this? 7 watts per kilo coming from Torrey. At the moment, she's got a little bit of a gap on Bergen. She's looking for a top 3 here. She's looking to try and move up. Can she come across on this part of the terrain, which is suiting her? She's got a little bit of a gap on Bergen, but I'm not sure that she has snapped the elastic enough. Meanwhile, Blackburn still clear of Sammy Stewart, but this is only going to be a matter of a few more meters, I think, before we see Stewart make contact. Here she comes. She's in the slipstream. She's in that draft. You can see the numbers. She's closing with less watts per kilo, and that is not due to the aerodynamics, because at the moment Joe Blackburn actually on the faster bike of the 2, so it will travel further for less effort, quicker. Basically, it's that straightforward. So 2 versus 2, Blackburn and Stewart. Then it is going to be Bergen and Torrey. So Holly Bergen and Izzy Torrey currently 16 seconds clear of Daisy Freer, who is leading this big bunch of riders once again, and could well have their sights set on Holly and on Izzy. That time is coming down. It's now down to 15 seconds. It's going to get close. Meanwhile, Blackburn up over the top of the climb has not let Sammy Stewart make a touch contact here. So Stewart was on the wheels. She's just got yo-yoed off the back of this group again. And as our helicopter shows, at the moment, Blackburn has a clear run. But Sammy Stewart closing back down again. It's a bit like Jaws, isn't it? You're going to need a bigger boat. I think you are. If you're going to be taking Sammy Stewart, who knows? We've seen Joe take victory before. Great duo of riders, really aggressive riding, fantastic to see. It's great to see such aggressive racing and riding here on the WOW DCG. We've had it all the way through this season, and I tell you something, the WOW DCG and the Donny Chaingang, they have been getting incredibly quick, incredibly tactical, and people have been giving it absolutely everything. It's great to see all the increases in FTP levels in your 5-second power. Make sure you post them up on social media. Tag in Downing Cycling, tag in Full Speed Events, and of course tag in the Donny Chaingang. So here we go. Round the turn is currently Blackburn. Again, look at this. She just keeps on going up to nearly 7 watts per kilo. This is just constantly forcing Sammy Stewart to react. Sammy's having to react to every single move here. This is like having a track sprint between two of your favourite riders. But instead of having to watch across the other side of a velodrome, you can watch up close and personal. And I'll tell you something, this is going to be interesting now. Sammy just goes for a little bit of a kick. She's at nearly 9 watts per kilo. She eases up. Joe is in there. Joe's put the draft in here. Really interesting moment. And is that why we're seeing Sammy Stewart just easing back? Joe is waiting. She's waiting. She's waiting. When's she going to go? When's she going to go? We're inside the green line. That banner is coming. Who's going to have the kick here? Is it going to be Sammy Stewart who's going to roll this through? I think Sammy's going to roll this. She's going to take this, and I think Joe's got nothing less. Sammy Stewart goes straight in and through the line, and look at that. He's storming right as she goes in and through. What a ride by Sammy Stewart. The record is intact once again. Thank you, Sammy. Amazing ride. Now, a great ride here by Holly Bergin. Holly has managed to stay clear of the pack behind. The Wolfpack have closed down on the rest of the riders. So great riding by Holly. She takes third place. The sprint is on behind, and it's Daisy Freer who's going to get it. She takes that from Vicky Jones. So then it's going to be Elliot and Seeley, Gilbert, Fletcher, Dooley, Ingverson, Lee, Winter and Brooks all coming in and through the line. Torrey comes in and through a spent force. Great riding by Easy Torrey. I'll tell you something, that was brave to go for it there, to take that on up at the front there. And amazing job done by her to come in and through. Got to say a very quick thank you to this rider, to Sammy Stewart. Not only taking victory, but a good sport as well. Despite all of the ribbing, all of the riders that we could throw at her, she takes victory once again. Sammy, absolute legend, and I'm sure we'll see you back on the Chaingang soon. Great leading by her. Now, we're going to drop her back out of this group a little bit further back, and we're going to try and find our next rider coming in. Not always easy, but looks like kind of done it. And guess what? It's one of our riders who has got really into the swing of things really quite quickly here. Anita Mana on a great ride here. Look at that pedal cadence, 101. There are plenty of riders who'd be really, really happy with that one. Emma, of course, alongside me, one of them. So that is very quick. Great to see the messages coming from our leader, from Sammy Stewart, on the way through. And big thanks. Oh, it's all right. You can get that abuse anytime. It's very. Don't worry. So the riders coming down in. It's going to be Anita Mana heading down underneath the Admiralty Arch up behind her, going away from T-Square, away from Trafalgar Square, heading down the mall. In front of her, you can see the arch coming up. This is the finish. She's got 1 minute 6 seconds on the nearest rider. This is going to be the quick run in. Told you she wasn't going to take any abuse from Sammy. So here we go. Next rider coming in. to the line here is going to be Anita Mana. Great riding by Anita, well done. And another rider who comes through to finish the WOW DCG. Time to spin those legs down. Take it nice and easy. Allegedly to the blue banner, just to stretch out. Now behind, we've got Emily Seeker Ennis. Then we've got a group of two. It's going to be Nicola Soden and Sarah Louise Hawkins. Then it is going to be Michelle Ross. Looks like Jessica Morn, Parker, Lukowski. Looks like Maz. Not all that far behind, just on that run off from the river. So riders all the way spread out. But as Emma Lysika Ennis heads in to the mall underneath Admiralty Arch for the last time, she's going to be our next finisher on the WOW DCG on the women only Wednesdays. Donny Chaingang. I think the message board has been busy, or the private message board has been busy on the way through, mostly because Emma's just collapsed in a fit of giggles down into the director's chair behind me. So Emma Lysika Ennis, the sensible one of the two Emmas that are anywhere near my vision at the moment, on her way in. So Emma Lysika Ennis doing a great job. Here comes in underneath the gantry here today. Job done. Time to spin those legs out. Get that lactic acid out of the legs. Nicola Soden's going to be our next rider. She's just in front of Sarah Louise Hawkins. She's continuing to push in for the line. Hawkins is chasing here. Who's got the kick? Well, Soden really has wound this up. She's up at 6.1 watts per kilo. Look at the great revs as well. Loads of power, loads of revs. Going to be amazing stuff. So fantastic stuff from Nicola. Sarah Louise Hawkins, and again another rider who improves week on week on week. Great to see her coming in at such pace. Next up is going to be Michelle Ross. So Michelle going to be our next rider in through the line here today. And it's going to be another great ride here on the Women Only Wednesdays. Donny Chaingang on the WOW DCG. Good job done. Next in it will be Postlethwaite, going to be followed by Pip Morn, who has Jess upon her heels. Pip out of the saddle and sprinting here. So this is for the kick for the line. I think Pip is going to get this. She should do 6.6 watts per kilo coming from Pip. Another of our regular riders, and great to see Pip on the ride. Along with Claire. Jessup Claire comes through, gets a new personal record on the way through there. Nice one. That's what we want to see. People still setting records as they come in to the finish. Time to spin those legs out. Get the lactic acid flushed out. Make sure you get them recovered, warmed down nice and steadily, and make sure that you're ready for your next ride on the Donny Chaingang. Whether that is on Thursday tomorrow, we are going on to every road in the new world, new part of Mercury Islands tomorrow on the Donny Chaingang, except for the Lincoln Roast in Yokio and Mercury Islands, the old part, the old town. So all of those new roads are going to be in use. Going to be a really interesting lap. Russ is back and leading on that one, so going to be fun to see how he gets on. Looks like Lukowski as well as Maz and Bellis on the way in and towards the line. So whilst they make their way down and in, we're just going to do a little bit of housekeeping on the way through. So cracking ride tonight on the WOW DCG by everybody. And we've got to say, without the members of the DCG gang, they are going to be riding on their own, because we wouldn't be able to run the ride without them. So please, guys, if you can donate, there's a donate button when you register on the Ticket Taylor site. You can donate by joining the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and that means that we get to say thank you to you by offering you great discounts. 20% off OTE, 20% off Gritty, 20% off Fellow Skin, 10% off Halo, extra discount with 1080, whose month it is today, for the best shades and glasses in the business, as well as t-shirts as well, oddly enough, and hats, you name it, they do it. Don't forget, of course, Nonna's keeping everybody fed and watered on the way through. And, of course, Continental with some great offers coming up as we move into the new year. We've got lots more rides coming up, so plenty of time to make the most of that. Don't forget, you also get the links through first. You do get all of those details coming straight in to you. So, please, guys, make sure you register as a member. Jump in there. Don't forget, of course, we're supporting the Pro Peloton as well. So if you're one of the pro riders who rides, if you're a rider who's regularly out and racing on the scene. We want to support you, we want to get you on the rise, so please just get in touch with us, let us know, and we can sort out making sure that you can get on every time in the week. Don't forget, of course, Thursdays, DCG will come out live on here. Next week, we are aiming to bring you the Tuesday and the Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to be travelling out to different studios, and then we'll be back in those for the Sunday broadcast and onwards. And of course, lots more broadcasts coming out from Full Speed Events, from myself, Matt Payne, from Emma. And you can get in touch with us. It's Matt Fix the Pain on social media, as well as Full Speed Events, and of course at Biking Emma. So this is going to be where you can get in touch. Social media, Facebook, Zwift, Strava, you name it, you can get hold of us one way or another. Don't forget, if you do have any issues, any problems, if you want some tech advice, if you want to know how to beat Sammy Stewart, other than nobble the front wheel so it don't go round or something daft like that, then don't hesitate to get up onto the Facebook pages of the Donny Chaingang and get it posted. Loads of great conversation on there, as well as banter. Put on the pictures of what you've achieved on the Chaingang, whether that's out on the roads, whether that is because you just hit a distance goal, because you're out and riding. Don't forget, lots of great rides coming up on. So we've got to say a big thank you to everyone on Zwift, as well, to Eric, to Steve, as well as to James, all the team who work behind the scenes there, because without them, without this fantastic platform, then it'd be very difficult to bring you a virtual Donny Chaingang. So let's jump back into our ride. Looks like Lukowski, Daniel Lukowski, on the way in to that final turn here today. So it is going to be Dana who is making her way around underneath the big Nelson's column. In real life this time around, it's got a squirrel sat on top of it, oddly enough, with it being Zwift. And looks like Dana on her way in to that line. So from there, it'll be then a roll down into the finish, being chased by Maz and Belly's behind. Got to try and get themselves to that finish together. Let's see how they get on as they go in. But at the moment, Dana continuing to keep nice pedal cadence there, sitting around about 90, really smooth. You can see those riders who regularly are out on the bike sitting between about 80 and 90 revs per minute usually. Heart rate 143, just nicely ticking along there, and you can just see it increasing as we come in towards the line for the last time. So Daniel Lukowski going to be our next rider in and through the finish here today. Looking really smooth, hardly missing a beat on the way in. Underneath the gantry, Dana goes here in London, and it is a job done until she goes down to that blue banner. So well done to Dana, and hope you've enjoyed the Donny Chaingang this time round. Next up is going to be our dynamic duo. It is our two riders on the way in. Remember, they've only got to make it in and to the line. So you've got to keep on heading down in to the finish, over to the sprint line. So Belly's at the moment, who's no doubt in action in that team time trial from Scotland. You've got Maz in here from the Peak District, where it is incredibly hilly. In fact, she lives on one of the steepest streets I think I've ever known. It's definitely steep if you've been round for coffee and cake or something fizzy and cake, and then try and ride back home again. It's not the easiest place to set off from on your way back, even though the cake is amazing, the coffee's great, and the fizzy stuff's pretty frequent, to be honest. It's definitely not the easiest of return legs home, even though it is pretty much downhill, because we do live a little bit more downhill than Maz does. She's a bit more up on the top, but still manages to find a steep road to get back out again. There is a sneaky cut through. It's a bit cyclocrossy, but you know what? I always take it. So much easier. Going to take the long way round. Right, here they come. Coming in to Trafalgar Square, into T Square. Our two riders headed by our Red Beacon. Great riding here today. So our Red Beacon going to keep the riders rolling in. It's going to be Belly's going to be the next rider in and over the line here today on the WOW DCG. And great to see the show rolling onwards. Great to see everybody giving it everything into the finish. A fantastic race into the finish. Sammy Stewart riding it out with a win once again. Not sure when Sammy's down to be our yellow beacon next time round. Might have to line up a couple of ringers on the way through just to make life really, really difficult for her. Just put them in under some kind of pseudonym. You know, just sort of like top-class international riders. Oh, no, she beat them as well. To be honest, the way she's riding at the moment is incredibly strong. Right, here we go. Sprint is on. Maz is going to go to get a faster time as she comes in to the line here. Sits at 7 watts per kilo, 7.1. Not content with racing. Red Beacon's going to roll in that last few hundred meters here today. So a massive thank you to Maz Heffron, another of the Aeonian riders, supporting the Donny Chaingang once again. Great to see Maz in action on the bike, and no doubt we'll be seeing Maz on the WOW DCG and DCG. Another personal record, that time 13-second ride in going underneath, and in through the line goes Belly's our last rider in and over the line. So as they go off to complete their warm down, I've got to say a big thank you to all of our volunteers who've been looking after our riders. Don't forget, of course, we will be back tomorrow with the Donny Chaingang. Russ back from a trip down south. Don't worry, he's not been sipping shandies. He's still the usual hard northerner. And no doubt we'll be making life hard for everybody in some brand new roads for the Chaingang. So from myself, Matt Payne, from Emma, from Russ, from everybody on the Chaingang, from Sammy and from Mazar Beacons today, stay safe, enjoy yourselves. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.